All right, buckle up because today we're diving headfirst into a house that'll make those celebrity mansions look like, well, tiny houses.
Yeah, talk about a step back in time.
We're talking Stan Hywet Hall right here in Akron, Ohio. 64,500 square feet.
I mean, can you even picture that?
That's like what, a whole city block?
Pretty close. And it's not just the size, it's a peek into the lives of early 20th century America. The American dream, but supersized.
Supersized is right. 65 rooms, 70 acres. And get this, an indoor pool in the basement.
Oh, yeah, gotta have the indoor pool.
But hold on, before we picture ourselves doing laps in the basement, let's talk about the man behind this palace. This wasn't just some, tycoon with too much money.
Right, this is F.A. Cyberling we're talking about. Goodyear Tire.
The tire guy, I remember learning about him in, Ohio history class.
Not just any tire guy, he co-founded Goodyear. This man shaped the economy of Ohio.
Okay, so when a guy like that built a house, it's a statement.
Stan Hywet was his legacy, a testament to his success. And he chose Tudor revival for the style. Why do you think that is?
Good question. It's like he was channeling those grand European estates.
It was a time when America was finding its place on the world stage, right? Maybe choosing a style that whispers old money, aristocracy. It was aspirational.
Like he was saying, hey, we're here and we've arrived.
Exactly, a self-made man aligning himself with history. Okay, let's get into this house, the drawing room. That's where I want to start.
Oh, I read about that. It's huge, right?
Not just huge, but think about the light pouring in from those massive windows. Natural light, that was a luxury.
And Cyberling insisted on those windows.
He knew what he wanted. To walk into that room, it must have felt like stepping into air. And the furnishings, oh man, imagine intricately carved wood, plush velvet, tapestries they probably picked up on their travels.
Talk about a conversation starter. Each piece telling a story.
Okay, now I've got to ask about the music room. Gertrude's grand piano, right?
She was quite the musician. They actually held concerts in that room. Can you imagine?
I'm trying to, but it's like my brain can't comprehend a room big enough for a concert.
It was the place to be seen back then. Akron's elite, all gathered under one roof.
Listening to music, making deals, probably gossiping about who knows who.
It's like a scene out of Downton Abbey, but in Ohio.
Now, here's what I love. For all the grandeur, they didn't forget about the personal touches. You're right, they were still a family. Each bedroom was a suite, designed to reflect the personality of each family member.
It humanizes it, right? It's not just a museum, it's a home.
Exactly. And they weren't afraid to break the mold. The basement is a perfect example.
The basement, what's down there? I picture, dusty coal bins and cobwebs.
Well, they did have a state-of-the-art laundry room. For 1915, that was a big deal.
Okay, I can see it. Servants bustling around, the latest washing machines whirring.
But here's the kicker. Right next to all that practicality, an indoor pool.
An indoor pool?
Yeah.
In their basement. That's insane. In 1915.
It tells you they were forward thinkers, embracing the latest technology. They wanted it all.
And they had the means to make it happen.
And it wasn't just the house. 70 acres of land.
Yeah, I was going to say, that wasn't some postage stamp backyard.
Gardens. A lagoon. Even a 4-hole golf course.
Wait, a golf course? Seriously? That's wild.
They created their own little world back there and escaped from, well, everything.
Can you imagine? Honey, I'm just going to pop out for a quick 9 in the backyard. It's mind-blowing.
It really is. It makes you wonder what it would be like to actually live in a place like that.
Right. I can barely keep my houseplants alive, let alone 70 acres and a golf course.
It's a completely different mindset, isn't it? Today we're all about, minimalism, open floor plans. But this was about grandeur on a scale that's hard to fathom.
It'd be amazing, sure, but could you imagine the heating bill? Or trying to find a lost TV remote in a place that big?
Or just the sheer effort of keeping it clean. Talk about a full-time job.
You need a staff. But I guess they did have a staff, didn't they? It's still fascinating to think about.
It challenges our modern sensibilities, for sure. But back then, this was the pinnacle of achievement. The American dream, writ large.
It makes you wonder, though, how our definition of success has changed.
Right.
Is bigger always better?
That's a question we could debate all day. But here's another one for you. Did you know Stan Hywet is a museum now?
Get out.
Yeah.
Really? That's amazing. So they kept it all.
Pretty much. The house, the furnishings, the gardens. It's like stepping back in time.
I can only imagine. To walk those halls, see those rooms,
Yeah.
it wouldn't just be a tour, it would be an experience.
Exactly. It's a testament to the power of preservation. keeping those stories alive.
Those walls could talk, right? I bet they'd have some stories to tell.
Oh, for sure. But even without words, you can feel the history in every room, every detail.
It's like a time capsule, perfectly preserved.
More than that, it makes you think about our own values, our aspirations. What will our legacy be? What will our homes say about us 100 years from now?
It's almost like we're putting together a puzzle.
Yeah, like those 1,000-piece ones.
With these little glimpses into their lives.
And getting a clearer picture of not just who they were.
But what it all means.
Exactly. Because history, it's not just dates and names in a book, right?
It's about people.
Real people making choices.
And those choices still resonate with us like a century later.
It's crazy to think about.
It makes you wonder, like, what was it like day-to-day life in a place like that?
Right. Did they have, like, wild parties?
With, like, champagne fountains and those little cucumber sandwiches?
I bet they did. The article doesn't go into those details.
It's all about the grandeur.
The architecture.
But it's those everyday moments that, I don't know.
Make it real.
Yeah, exactly. Like, did they ever get tired of dusting all that furniture?
Okay, maybe not that.
But you get the point. Even with all that luxury.
There had to be trade-offs.
Right, like everything in life.
It's all about perspective, I guess.
What seems like a burden to us.
Might have been a privilege to them.
And vice versa.
Hmm?
Okay, so let's say someone's listening.
They're hooked.
They're booking a flight to Ohio right now.
Gotta see this place.
What's your advice? How do you really experience Stan Hywet?
Go beyond the tour.
Yeah.
Don't just walk through, inhabit it. Imagine Mr. Cyberling in his study. Or Mrs. Cyberling at that grand piano.
It's like we were saying, let those details come alive.
Exactly. Do a little research beforehand. Read up on the Cyberlings.
Their lives, their accomplishments.
It'll add so much depth to the experience.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find something the article missed.
A hidden clue.
A secret passageway.
Okay, now that's a bit much.
But the point is, there's always more to discover.
If you just keep your eyes open.
And your mind engaged.
Well said. History is a conversation, not just a lecture.
And that about wraps up our deep dive into Stan Hywet Hall.
A house that's so much more than just bricks and mortar.
A testament to a time and a family.
And maybe a reflection of ourselves.
So, next time you walk past a historic building,
or even just an old house,
take a second look. You never know what stories are waiting to be uncovered.
Until next time.
Keep exploring.